work at a small private liberal arts college university called Elon University.
And where are you from originally?
St. Louis, but as a military brat, and I don't really consider St. Louis my home.
So, okay, so that's where you're from, Army brat, because your family was in the Army, your
Yeah,
dad?
my dad was a lifetime career Army person, um, and we moved around a lot, but not as much as many other military people because my dad worked in civilian spaces, like as an Army recruiter, a career counselor, and an ROTC person. So we mostly lived away. The memories from our childhood that I most remember, we were not in near military bases. But before the age of 5, we did spend time on military bases. But I don't really remember much of that.
But you still call yourself a military brat.
Well, yeah, yeah. Or I can also call myself a soldier. It's just
Yeah.
people ask me about my childhood. Like military brat is just something people understand to explain why, I went to 4 high schools. Yeah.
Are you born Jewish, your family, or did you made a decision to
Yeah,
become?
I converted. No, I have a friend who's Jewish, and uh, I went to his short stories. I went to his synagogue, and I really liked it, and here I am today.
Singing? You sing. I've heard some of it.
Yeah,
Everything's only a minute long.
because I live on Instagram. That's right.
I know, it's so sad. But the thing is, just so you know, this is me cherry picking people out of social media to be part of
Yeah,
the conversation that
cool.
I'll start posting up on social.
Uh-huh.
Won't be silent YouTube page and start building that. So I just need to know, like, what is behind someone that chooses an untraditional life like that, right?
Mhm. I don't know. It's just me. Like I can't. I mean, I think what I hear you saying, like I do understand. Like people want to know, like how I have resilience or whatever. But this is just my life. It's just it's I'm living my truth and doing the best I can, and I don't know any different really. Like I only know how to be me.
So do you have in the temple, so you were the rabbi of a temple, or
No, I'm a campus rabbi. I work at a university.
is there a choir or a chorus as part of this?
No, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, because
I'm
I'm starting to get requests from various organizations to perform the song. Like, of course, they all want to do it on the night of the liberation.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, if you ever get it together, we'd love to have. Even though I'd love for you to sing it just yourself at some point, you'd be so
That's great.
quiet.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
I mean, no
Yeah,
pressure,
I
no pressure.
have song leaders. I had a grant to support our song leaders, and they're singing. And so now that they're leading stuff, more people are telling me that they sing. And so I would really love to create like a Jewish choir on campus. There are a lot of singing groups on our campus and we have production quality studios. Um, And so many of our Jewish students who sing wind up singing in other choirs, but I would really love it if they would like be in the Jewish choir and sort of transform what they think that means.
Right, right, right.
Like contemporary Jewish music is not like their parents' Jewish music.
It doesn't have to be klezmer, in other words.
Right, right. Or any of that stuff from that era. It can be, American music.
Do you write music as well?
I do actually. I have a video project. I'm IFYC, the Interfaith Youth Corps. Ibu Butel, if you've heard of him, amazing individual, started a racial equity media fellowship this year. And so I'm one of the fellows, and I have to produce media content once a month. And so this month I produced a video about a song that I wrote, and I use images of protesters, and I wrote it up. I can send you the link.
Yeah,
Um,
dude, I've been
uh
using this. I've been using this song for public service announcements,
huh.
voting rights groups in Washington D.C.
Mhm.
since we had to stop filming in March because of
Uh-huh.
COVID. So I just wanted to keep the song alive. I'll send you a couple
Yeah.
of those too. They're really powerful.
I do write. So the short answer is I do write songs. Um, I am not a like accomplished songwriter. I don't write. I don't read music, and so. But this is a thing that I wrote about 5 years ago, and then I decided to turn in this project.
How long is it? Is it a full
About,
piece?
I don't know, 3 minutes or something. Yeah, I'm not sure. And then I also use sound from protesters, um, protesting. So
So it's you singing on that?
mhm.
Okay, I'll definitely.
Yeah, I'm singing now. It's bookended by protest chants, and there's me singing. I appear on the screen, but I'm not the focus of the video. Yeah, it's just my latest thing. I'm trying to get better at singing and being more comfortable. Actually, my mom passing actually made me more comfortable because I realized that no matter what I think about my own voice, my mother found comfort in listening to me sing, and so I was just like, wow,
That's,
yeah,
my mother was a singer.
oh wow,
And, she has an interesting story. So she survived Dhaka with her sister.
hmm
And after the camps were liberated, they went to these thing called displaced persons camps where they got healthier and whatever. And there was this place in Landsberg outside of Munich called Saint Attilian, which was a monastery.
hmm
So her and her sister, so they got out of Dachau like April 28th, I think was the day of liberation. And by March 25th, by May 25th, they had met these other musicians that were also there healing.
hmm
They created the ex-concentration camp orchestra.
oh wow,
It's amazing. And what they did was it was like 17 of them. And this one guy kind of organized them and managed them. And they went from camp to camp bringing music back as part of this healing
that's
process.
wow.
Yeah, it's a good story. So yeah, so all that's in my in the history of me, and I'm like, what do I do? I don't know.
You're a storyteller, which is
I'm
pretty awesome.
encouraged. Yeah, I finally figured out what I can do here on this planet while we're still here.
I spent the first 2 years creating a Shabbat program at our university because we didn't have one. And students are like, oh, we don't want that, we don't want that, we don't want that. And now they want it all the time. And so now I just sort of sit back and before you contacted me, I was on the phone chatting with one of our song leaders. We have two song leaders, one went out of town, and so I was checking with the other one, can you sing this song, this song, this song? And I just put it all together, and tonight's theme is about voting, and I just tap
Oh,
people,
good.
and we're going to do it on Zoom, and it's kind of cool to watch them lead, and to produce the kind of services that they want.
How many people attend a Shabbat service on Zoom? And then what's the difference in the numbers before COVID or now that there is COVID? Or is there?
It depends. So before COVID, we would have in-person Shabbat services, um, and for the most part, we initially would have them like once a month, and then moved to twice a month. And then last semester, at the beginning of last semester, before everything shut down, we were actually having services every week. But sometimes, depending if there was a theme, they would be more well attended. If it was just regular Shabbat, not so much. But we actually have, since COVID, we actually have a Shabbat offering every single Shabbat because we don't have a lot of other stuff that we can do, and students want to come together. And so it just depends. So, like last week, we had a singing Shabbat that I created called Hava Nashira, where our song leaders teach songs to students. And so that was pretty well attended. It was outside. Um, the song leaders were far away, and the people listening were far away, and it was fun. And we had maybe, I don't know, 20 people or so. And then tonight we're going to talk about voting, and so students have had a rough week, and so I would imagine there will at least be a minion there. But our students also understand that they need to do the work to make sure people come. Bring your friends. If you're not happy with attendance, then you need to work to make people come. So it just really depends. Like I have no idea how many people will be there, but I know that if I have a lot of volunteers, at least those people will be on the screen.
And having a
So,
minion is really the most important.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, do you feel like, I mean, I had never lit Shabbat candles until I
Mhm.
got married because coincidentally, my husband is actually Israeli and he's the
Mm.
first officially authentic Jew I ever dated. The other ones are just,
Uh,
whatever. They like Johnny come latelys for them. But yeah, I find it to be very soothing. I think
yeah.
uh,
Hmm.
I think it's a nice ritual that, and my sister and I send pictures of our candles. And
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
I
If
mean,
one,
if you would have
yeah.
told me 2 years ago where I would be doing Shabbat, I'd be like, girl. But I think, it just shows you're never too old to grow up. How was your family? How did they react to you becoming Jewish? They were like,
It was fine. Like I was always, I think being the oldest child, I was the one that was always trying new things. As my dad says, I always dared to be different. And so after, the whole, coming out in my teenage years and um, um, my crazy education that people were worried I wouldn't find a job. Um,
what did you
and
major in?
I'm a sociologist. And so I was on track to get a PhD in sociology, and I switched gears, um, and the vegetarian vegan thing. By the time the Jewish thing came along, and then the rabbi thing came along, it was like okay, whatever, as long as you're happy.
Right, right,
No, but seriously, they were really proud of me when they came to my ordination, um, and I'm glad they did come because they don't really understand it, but they
right.
know that what.
No, go ahead, finish. They know.
They don't really. I mean, they get the religious piece of it, but they don't really understand. Like, well, they didn't have a concept of the rabbi thing, and so to watch my ordination and all the people there to celebrate me and other people too, but like to see all that attention and love because a rabbinic ordination thing is like a huge deal, and it should be. Um, and it's one of the things that I think the Jewish community does well. So if you ever have an opportunity to go to an ordination of a rabbi, I hope they're all great. I hope
Right, right.
you can go
Totally know.
because it's a beautiful thing, and you have this centuries of tradition being given to someone who studied for a long time, and it's a title you can't take away. By the way, it's not something that can be like, oh, we don't want you to have it.
You don't need to get it
Um,
renewed.
what?
You don't need to get a renewal slip
Yeah,
like
that's your rabbi. I mean, I believe all rabbis should have continuing education, especially when it comes to what's happening in our society.
right.
But, but no. So to
Where
see
did
that
you go? Where did you study rabbinic?
the Reconstruction's Rabbinical College outside of Philly.
My
Uh,
mother was a teacher at the Jewish Theological Seminary in New York
oh, great! Yeah,
for
that's
8 years.
yeah. I have good friends that went to JTS. But no, like the to see that, and they realized that this was a good decision for me and the right decision for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm so glad to have chatted with you and just kind of meet you. And, you know, I'll keep you posted when it goes
Yeah.
online. I'm going to watch your song as soon as we hang up. And thank you for the time. Feel free
So
to
Shabbat Shalom to you.
Shabbat Shalom for sure.
All right.
You are.
Bye.